Hi there, I'm Construction Gamer. In today's episode of Midlands to London, we're hopefully going to be finishing the cross-city line as far south as Bromsgrove. That does mean we're going to have to build Kings Norton station, and there's a junction, well, there's a couple of junctions and a station. There is, Barn Green, but I don't think I'm going to build that station itself, but I will be building the platform, so I'll explain a little bit more about why I'm doing that in a minute. In the last episode, we built Five-Way Station and Bourneville. Currently sat at Five-Way Station on this West Midlands railway service into where's it going? Lichfield Trent Valley, that's where it's going. I've done a little bit of work off camera with walls and whatnot just to make it look a little bit better. So we've got these two little tunnels that go, and then we that go somewhere, and then we go into this tunnel that heads into Birmingham New Street Station itself. So that is that. We did have a little bit of a crash at the end of the last episode. I think I fixed one of the crashes, and it was, for some reason, the virtual memory had been set at 200 megabytes, which is clearly not enough to run this save game. So that's fixed, but I am getting another little error, which is something about maximum loan value or set loan. I don't know quite what the error is. I am using Sandbox mod, but I've used it before and never had any issues with it. We're not struggling for money. We've got, 100 billion in the bank account there. I've just topped that up recently. We are losing lots of money, but I don't think that should have a big impact on crashing. It's a built-in mod, isn't it? This Sandbox mod. It's not actually a third-party mod, so I can't quite understand why that would be having an issue. So what I've done anyway is set the autosaves to 15 minutes, which has got to be a little bit frustrating because it does take an age to save each time that happens, but it's just really frustrating as well when you're kind of losing half an hour's worth of work. So that's where we're up to with this. We've got this bit of track here which leads into Kings Norton station, which we're going to be building. So let's get rid of this track here and here. Can I get rid of that without doing too much? Yes, it looks like it can actually. Yeah, let's just leave that as it is. So we've got a station. Funnily enough, what shall we use? Let's use let's not use the old, let's just use King's Cross, 120 metres long. Just stick with the single platform for now. Let's just take a look. This does have an island platform, but that's currently not in use. I think I'll build it about, we want high-speed track with catenary, yes, let's chuck that on about there and then configure this station. So the track is here, and we've got an island platform that isn't currently being used. I think it is potentially going to be brought back into use if the Camp Hill line gets upgraded or services start operating on that. I think Simon Trains was saying something there are plans for the Camp Hill line, but currently the cross-city line trains use the outermost platforms. That's what I'm trying to get to the point there. So we're just going to chuck on some platforms there. I will keep the island platform as is, although I don't know if I like those. No, I don't know if I like that station. I think I'm gonna. No, I don't need to demolish the station, do I? I just need to demolish the platforms. I think I'll use NL in this particular instance. This looks a little bit too modern as I delete all the tracks and everything else. So we will just go with the standard NL for this. Platforms, NL, just a single platform down the middle because we don't need passenger capacity because the platform isn't being used currently, so that's not an issue anyway. And then we're just going to chuck in our tracks with electrification down there. Pretty straightforward. Let's go get this hooked up. So we've got this track here which I think needs to be demolished, as does that. But this track here, which is technically part of the Camp Hill line but is used for the down line service on the West Midlands railway service, and then we do have, so we've got that junction coming off, and then we've got a switch which goes something like that. Let's make it a little bit quicker. 46 should be all right, and then like that connected into there, and then that one connected into there. So that is the up going towards New Street from Norton Bridge, Kings Norton. And then let's go back to configuring this. We'll go with NL, aren't we? So we need MISC. It looks to me, I'm usually looking at Google Maps, like the steps on both sides or both ends of the station. right at the end of the station though, not like this where it's kind of in the middle. I think I'll probably get rid of that. And there is a set of steps down to the middle platform, but I don't know if it's going to be blocked off. I can't imagine Network Rail wanting people to go into an abandoned platform somehow, but I think I'll build it anyway because it does appear as if it exists, so I will put that in there. And then what else have we got going on MISC? Looks like there is some form of canopy, I think, so we'll chuck that on there. And then that's pretty much it. We need to go to passenger building to the steps and chuck some steps on at the end, because there's not a lot really going on with this, I don't think, with the station itself. Get rid of that. And then a little bit of parking, that one just down the side there. I'll connect that up to something eventually. And then we do actually have a road that goes across the top, so we want road, 1, 2, 3, maybe up a little bit more, something like that. Can that go down without colliding? Go on, just let me build a road. Just trying to build a road that's not too... Why are you going? I'm not entirely sure why it's obsessing about connecting to the track. Right, if I hold shift, will that just let me build a bridge? Not sure what type of bridge it is. Actually, I didn't look. Let's go with a good old girder bridge, something a bit like that. And then chuck this road down to meet that, I guess, on an embankment. And then you just come down somewhere on an embankment as well, please. And then I guess I can get this road connected up. I don't know if it goes anywhere. Let's take a look. It goes to Solihull, so I guess it should really be connected up. Just wang that into there. Maybe not going into a ditch though, eh? Let's upgrade the approach. Yeah, that'll do the job, I think. Yeah, just connects. That connects up with, well, nothing. Well, Solihull and Kidderminster, I guess. It connects, so we'll have that in there. Right, so next thing is get rid of this road here. Start to build some more tracks. So we've got Kings Norton station in. Next, we need the junction down. So, no, we'll build this track first. So we'll get rid of, oh no, almost forgetting, aren't we? Oh no. So, right, we've got some tracks to actually build first of all. Right, so coming out of there, pair of tracks into about the 82. Yeah, I think I will take that. That's fine. Right, so we've got a switch. So we've got a pair of tracks coming off there, a switch about there, and then this track actually doesn't want to do that. This track wants to do something a bit like that. Now, I don't know if that's a double slip switch or not. I don't think it is, but this track here, this will be a down, not an up. Switches straight over to that track by the looks of it, and then we've got this track that runs alongside, a bit like that. So far so good. And then coming off here we've got another up line. So yeah, it looks, no, that's a down line then. Yeah, that looks right now. It's a bit of a complicated arrangement really. I don't know why it's quite so complicated as this. I know there's stabling or there's a depot over here or something, so maybe it's just for that. Maybe it's for freight, but it does look like quite a complicated junction arrangement in my eyes. All right, then we've got 2 switches. Yeah, I can't foresee all of these switches and things being needed to run the services that we're going to operate, but they exist, so I try and recreate it as faithfully as I can, something a bit like that. Right, so I think what we'll do next is we'll head down towards Barn Green just for now. So I've got my drawings in the wrong order, so all we want really is nothing particularly complicated about this station. It's just the fact that it does have a curved station. I guess part of me would like to build it because it's the first interchange possibility for people who want to go from Redditch to Worcester or Bromsgrove. I'm not sure if those services stop at Barn Green. Actually, I know there are. You've got the cross city services which basically terminate at Bromsgrove, and then you've got the services which continue towards Worcester. So what am I going to do? I think we'll just keep. It is a bit far away though, and it's not the end of the world, is it really? Got to go to Kings Norton if they want to go from Worcester to Redditch, but we're not worrying about making money anyway, so I don't think I'm going to worry about it too much as we have an autosave already. Good. So the reason I don't want to build the station is because it's a curved station. Two of the platforms are curved, which obviously there is a curved station mod, but I don't know if I go to stations. If I switched it on. Let's take a look. Curved station, number of tracks 4. Yeah, that's the only thing, is all 4 tracks have to be curved, which is, I don't know, is there any, I don't know. I could play around with this. No, it doesn't look as if I can have 2 platforms that go straight on and 2 platforms that are curved. So I don't think I'm going to build this station, which is a little bit of a shame, I know. But what I am going to do is instead, I guess, no, there's no easy way of doing it just because the way of this station is. There's no way to connect the two. You'd have to have two separate stations, which just gets complicated and messy. But what we can do is, here a C 5 meter, what does this look like? Is we can just put a fake station in for now. And this is something I've never really thought about before, to be honest, actually, is putting some of these in where the stations would be. I know because the map's not to scale, I tend to only kind of do the main stations, but this could just make it look a little bit more interesting. I know we haven't got any oversteps or anything like that. I could put some in and stuff like that and connect it all together. Can I put another row in? No, not without it looking rubbish. I don't know, it's something to consider, I think, but yeah, it's just too much of a faff, I think, trying to build Barn Green Station, so we're going to just going to leave it at that, unfortunately. But I wanted to build that first of all because I just wanted the distance for the track into Kings Norton here, which is a little bit curvy, but the main thing is, actually, before I move on to my other drawing, we're just going to chuck in the M42, which crosses both the Redditch and Bromsgrove branch. So I'm going to chuck in this track, actually. Curve's going to have to be maybe about that. 60 is a little bit slow, but I think it's going to have to be. Right, so from here, 1, 2, 3, a couple of little bits, bit more, something like that. So it wants to be a concrete bridge, doesn't it, of some description? Something like that, perhaps. Can I just have, don't like it when the support gets a bit too close. Yeah, we'll take that, maybe just angle it a little bit more, make sure we're not fouling the track with the supports. Is that support floating? That's frustrating. Right, why are you floating? Maybe if you use that one, that's a little bit better. Right, and then straight, no, we want straight across on an embankment, keeping it the same level, and then just straight across there. See, no, we didn't want to do that, I don't think. Straight across to about, no, you want to be flat, 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 and then on an embankment. No, maybe push it back a little bit to about there, and then straight across. And it's done the same thing again. Don't really want it to do that. Let's just chuck the bridge in and see what it looks like first of all. Don't know why you're doing that with the embankment. Maybe if we get rid of a little bit more of the embankment then. Oh, just put a curve in. No, don't put a curve in. All I want to do is a little tiny bit of an embankment. Shouldn't be particularly tricky. Right, let's push that right back then, and then can have a bridge. Right, it's a little bit further away from the railway this time. Good. Right, so we were using this more modern looking one, which is fine. All I'm thinking is, because I'm going to put my supporting walls in, aren't I, eventually, so I don't want that to be fouling the track. And then you can just be on an embankment, connect up to there for now, and then you can go off somewhere to connect up with Kidderminster. Perhaps I'll reconfigure all of these roads and things. Right, so we've got that in there. We've got the M42. Next we want to move on to my other drawings. So what have we got going on here? We've got some 4 tracking going on. See, I don't know if all 4 tracks are electrified, if I'm honest. Right, so this one seems a bit weird. It goes almost to Barn Green and then just terminates with a switch, as far as I can tell, like that. And then this track here, this 4th track, comes in and just before Barn Green merges in to the track like that. Does it? Yes. I'll take this back a little bit, maybe to about there. Yeah, about there. Just trying to think, because we got I'm not building Longbridge Station, but we do have long bridges where all this junction stuff is going on, so I'm guessing something to do with the old factory. Yeah, there's used to be the old Hales Owen branch, just having a look at open rail map there. So we're going to put all these switches in around, just trying to think of a nice block section about that big. Right, so we've got a switch. Not going to worry about these switches, I don't think. So we use, actually, do I need to worry about these? No, I don't. So we've got the 2 outermost platforms that the train's going to call on, so the trains can get straight onto these 2 central tracks here, so that's not really a big issue. So these switches won't get used, so we can make them a little bit more compact. Yeah, just chuck them in because they exist, but they're not going to get used, so we don't need to worry about the speeds of them too much. Right, and then we've got a little bit of should be a siding. I don't know if that's electrified. And then after that siding there is another switch, something a bit like that, and then there's another switch here. So I think what I'll do next is I'll downgrade these tracks catenary. No, just the little, not the actual switch, because you know I like my switches to be kind of one style of track, because that doesn't look right, does it, when you've got wooden track and concrete track interacting with each other. So I'll just upgrade that bit with catenary. Oh no, right, just so we know they're sidings, basically, is the idea behind that. So that's all looking good. So far so good. We've actually built quite a little bit of track here today. Right, next thing is Bromsgrove itself, and I am actually going to do a manual save, I think, just before we move on. I am really, that's just how worried I am about these random crashes. Obviously, I've fixed the virtual memory crash, but the max loan set crash thing that happens, I'm not entirely 100% sure why that's happening, so just to be on the safe side. Right, so Bromsgrove is located around here. I guess, should we have Bromsgrove as a town, or should I just have... Yeah, it's a little bit close to Worcester and Redditch, isn't it? Yeah, it's a bit too close. I could move Worcester, I guess, but no. I think what I'll do, instead of worrying about Barnt Green, I'm going to have a bus from Redditch to Bromsgrove. That'll solve that issue. Right, so for this, we're going to be using a train station, railway station. That would help. We'll go with King's Cross... New, well, not King's Cross, but UK style passenger station with catenary and all that stuff. Right, so we'll chuck this in. Am I chucking this in the right place? I am, but I've forgotten. Right, let's just do a little bit of painting while we're here. Right, so use this one, that. So this track, so Bromsgrove's going about here, and then the track actually curves quite dramatically to about there to make, yeah. And then that goes into Worcester, and then just after Bromsgrove there is another junction which takes a piece of track running parallel with that one to Worcester Parkway, and then Worcester Parkway wants to meet up. So this actually probably wants to be about here, maybe about here, because we've got to get in a junction by the looks of it from Worcester Shrub Hill to Worcester Parkway, so I just want to leave myself enough space, so I'll curve that in there. And what I'll do, just so I know what we're doing, is paint over that in the wrong colour. Yeah, it's such a good way of kind of getting the tracks in a little bit of the correct orientation. It's just doing this first of all before we go in laying tracks. You can just paint till our heart's content, basically, until we're happy-ish that we've got something that kind of resembles what's in real life, and then that track goes off towards Kidderminster. Good. Yeah, got Droitwich Spa. I don't think we're going to build Droitwich Spa, to be honest. Good, so we've got that in the right place. Let's get this track built. So, not the track, the station. Just chuck it down there. Configure. I think this has 2 island platforms. I don't know if they're all used. I know Simon Trains was saying something about the station, how it looks now is different, but I'm building the infrastructure as it looks today rather than how it looked in 2011, if that makes sense. I know I've said that before, but it's just just easier building it as it looks today. So what we've got to do is delete this track. Why am I making this look so difficult? It's just it's quite simple, really. It's 2 island platforms. Right, so let's just build 2 tracks. Are they lined up? They're not lined up now. Right, so get those in there. This is not really that difficult, if I'm honest. Right, and then King's Cross, that one, and then we'll just have, I think I'll just have a single segment for 2 platform faces. Well, obviously this isn't going to be overly used anyway because it's not got a town attached to it, so we don't really have to worry too much about it. What we do need is an MISC. Is it MISC? No, it's platforms. We need an invisible platform about there. No, we don't. We need track first. Track down there. Good. Right, and then platforms, an invisible platform, and then we'll go with, gonna have to be a King's Cross platform, isn't it, anyway? Chuck that on there. Good. Right, next is a set of, well, in this set, yeah, we'll stick with us escalators, why not? I don't know if there are any lifts. It does look like it's had a recent upgrade. It does look quite modern. And then we'll go with a shelter. Looks like there is a shelter at least in the middle, like so. And then the actual passenger building does actually look quite modern. Yeah, there are lifts actually, but no escalators. Let's see if these are in the right direction. Yes, okie dokie. I know there are no escalators, but this is the closest asset we have to that with the lift, so we'll stick with it. And then I guess what I can do, just to try and hide it a little bit, is put the roof on it maybe. Let's see what that looks like. Where's the roof? Yeah, perhaps looking a little bit too modern, but I think I'll go with that, to be honest. That looks alright. And then we want our passenger building, which is a round shaped passenger building. Obviously we haven't got round buildings on which to put, so we'll just chuck on something a bit like that, so we have another autosave. Yeah, we'll just chuck those 2 on there, like so. Yeah, that's all looking good. Right, and then get this station connected up. Track, catenary. Yes, not upgrading. We're just building those. So those 2 go straight through the middle there, like so. Nothing particularly complicated. Then we've got a switch because Bromsgrove is the terminus for the cross-city line. well, this is the Bromsgrove branch, the cross city line, but yeah, it terminates here. And then coming out of Bromsgrove, it's not electrified anymore, I don't think. And then we've got coming out of there, let's just delete that, get that right up near to the station, and then get these connected up like so. So we've got that, and then coming out of Bromsgrove, we've got this junction which I need to investigate, I think, before I start building that. Have we got enough space to put in the track? Perhaps. Yeah, we've got that space anyway, and then there is a little bit of stabling there. I don't think we'll get that built. And that's pretty much it really. That's Bromsgrove Station, which is all looking good. Well, ish. Once I've done some decoration. Yeah, we are looking a bit tight. I might have to move this junction west a little bit, but I will research that for a future episode, I think. But we've got the main bit that I wanted to do, which is to get Bromsgrove Station built in this episode. So go away. I just want, it's still complaining about that service. We can ignore that for now. So we've got Lichfield, Birmingham New Street, Five Ways, Bourneville, Norton Bridge, Kings Norton, and then Redditch North, apparently, like so. So they're on the wrong platforms. Not going to really worry about that. You're probably on the wrong platforms, I'm guessing. Let's see. Let's change the name of this first of all to Bromsgrove, and then I think you want to be on platform number. Bromsgrove, yeah, platform number 2 to reverse back to go towards Birmingham. Right, you want to be so Birmingham, yeah, that one. You want to be on platform number 1, like so. Platform number 1, yeah, that's all good. Let's get that. Let's open that up. So you're that service, all looking good. So we've got a nice big chunk of cross city line built now. That's all good. Right, so we want manage vehicles rather. Let's get another train on it. Make sure we've got all, and then let's just see if I unpause the game briefly. If I bring up this line statistics, and then we want that one every 137 seconds, I think should be more than quick enough, or more than frequent enough rather than more than quick enough. So that's all looking pretty good actually. Yeah, 3 episodes, like I said. I know the cross city line also goes into Redditch, which we'll do, but I think for now that's kind of the main core that I wanted to get done, and we're starting to build a lot of the infrastructure around Birmingham now. I know there's still a huge ton of infrastructure to build actually, looking at what I've painted here. Birmingham does really seem to have an abundance of railways, but maybe not used as effectively as they could be. Could have like a cross city, well, a service coming across on the Camp Hill line probably would be beneficial really, wouldn't it? But I need to interrogate the West Midlands Railway service map anyway to see what other services I've got going on. But as for that, we've got that built, which is all good. Got a little bit of decoration to do, but I will do that off camera, and then I think I will try and get as much decoration done as I physically can, and then we will have a ride from Bromsgrove all the way to Lichfield, Trent Valley, which should be quite a cool cab ride once I've done a little bit of decoration and whatnot. But I'm going to leave it there for today. I'll jump on board this train. I know there's not a great deal to see, but I'll say until next time, bye bye.